Hello, welcome back everyone. This is going to be episode number 5 in the Great Guitar Build of 2021. It's time to finish the guitar, so come along.
So the first thing I did after applying a second coat of sealer was to remove the tape from the fretboard and clean up any leftovers. And then I started to sand the sealer down all the way to 400 grit. And then it was time to drill the holes for the bridge. And I'm using a piece of wood here which has the correct scale length. After marking the position for the posts, I started by drilling a pilot hole on my drill press and then went over to the correct size. And then I taped up everything that I didn't want any finish on. Then I started to clean the guitar with a microfiber cloth and some degreaser, as well as a tack rag to remove any particles that could be left on the guitar. And I almost forgot to add my logo to the headstock, so I did it while it was hanging upside down, but it went okay. And I'm gonna be using a 2K acrylic clear coat, so I'm gonna start by adding clear itself and then hardener, and as well as a little bit of a thinner just to make it spray a little bit easier. And then I put it through a filter into my spray gun and I'm ready to spray. I'm gonna start by spraying a tack coat to make the finish stick better. And then it's just a matter of putting clear until you're satisfied. And this is what it looks like after I don't know how many coats, but when I was finished spraying. And then I'm gonna drill for the output jack. I'm using a switchcraft jack, so I just marked it out here. I could have done this before spraying and just kind of forgot about it. And this is what it looks like. And I also drilled the holes for the controls. And I made a little bit of a deeper cut for the pots and the toggle switch. And then I started to drill the channels for the pickups. I kind of forgot about doing the neck pickup before, but it went okay. And then it was time to start sanding down the orange peel. I'm gonna start with 800 grit and then work my way all the way up to 2000. And when your sandpaper starts to clog up, it's time to throw it away so that you don't scratch your finish. And this is after 800 grit, still has a little bit of orange peel. And for doing the curved parts, I'm using an eraser with sandpaper, just gets a little bit easier. And this is what it looks like when we hit 2000 grit. And I'm just gonna start cleaning up the fretboard, getting rid of a little bit of glue and stuff, and then I'm gonna check that my neck is straight, and I'm gonna start leveling the frets. And don't forget to check your progress with a fret rocker. And then I'm gonna level the last 12 frets just a little bit more. And after leveling the frets, it's time to crown them. I'm gonna be using this Gueldo fret crowning file, which I bought off Thomann a few years ago. It's been working really great. And then I'm just gonna dress the ends of the frets. And for polishing, I'm just gonna be using an eraser and some sandpaper and go all the way up to 1000 grit. which is enough if you ask me. And then using some polishing compound. And a Dremel with a buffing wheel on it. It's gonna look great. And then I'm just gonna wipe off most of the leftover compound. And this is what it looks like. And for polishing the body, I'm gonna be using the Turtle Wax Pro system, which I think is really, really great. And I'm gonna be using my random orbital sander as a polisher. And you just gotta remember to wipe it off. And this is a little bit controversial, but I'm gonna polish the back of the neck. I think it looks really great on this guitar, so it is what it is. And then it's time for the second part of the polish, which is really gonna give it that deep gloss. And the wax that I'm gonna be using is just regular turtle wax. Preferably I would have wanted to use the professional version, but you know, this is what I had at home, so it works. And while the wax is drying, I'm gonna apply some shielding paint to the back cavity. And then I'm just gonna buff off the wax. And then it's time to apply wax to the top as well. And now it's time to do all the wiring. So I'm just gonna be using a Seymour Duncan diagram, and I'm not a professional electrician, but I'm doing my best. I'm using a coil split on the volume pot and a phase switch on the tone pot push-pull. And then I got the bridge wire, ground wire through, and it's a little bit messy back here, but it works. So this is the bridge in place, and now I'm gonna position the pickups and make sure that they're sitting straight. And then I'm gonna cut out a control plate for the back. Preferably I would have wanted to do this on my bandsaw, but I need a new blade. And I'm just gonna be using a file to finish up the shape. I'm doing one for the truss rod as well. And that's the back plate completed, and now it's time to install the strap locks. And this is a little secret here. These are Harley Benton strap locks, and they are actually, well, they have the same lock as the Chandler ones for a fraction of the price. I'm gonna be using some GGBO locking tuners, and these are the Magnum locks, which I've never tried before, so that's gonna be interesting. And this is also a little bit controversial, but I'm gonna be using some lemon oil on the fretboard. Some people don't really like it, but it is what it is. This is what I have, and I'm gonna apply 2 coats. And because I have split shaft pots, I'm just gonna put a little piece of binding in between, so that I can use knobs which screw on your pots. Then I'm gonna start working on the nut. I'm gonna be using a Tusk nut from Graphtech, which I think is really good. I'm just gonna apply it with 2 dots of super glue. And then I'm gonna try out the new tuners, and they're basically self-locking. So using an attachment to your drill is a little bit easier, and after a while of spinning, it's just gonna lock. And for filing the nut slots, I'm gonna be using my Ibanez nut files. And then I'm gonna clean it up with some sandpaper all the way up to 400 grit, and it's gonna look great. And it's time to stretch the strings, and the guitar is basically finished.
So, this is the guitar. It's finally finished. My Great Guitar Build of 2021 guitar is finally complete. Well, it still needs a little work with the intonation and the pickup height and that kind of stuff, and it's still not used to having strings on it, so I'm gonna let it rest for a little while, and after that I'm gonna upload a proper sound demo of the guitar, so stay tuned for that one. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's been watching my videos, commenting, liking. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean, I could have never thought that so many people were to watch my videos. It's amazing. I'm super thankful for everyone, and it's been a lot of fun to watch your builds as well. And I mean, good luck in the competition. It's almost over. It went really quick, actually, and I guess it's time to say goodbye for this time. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and or liking. It will really help out, and I'll see you in the next one, I hope. It's still a little bit out of tune, so well, stay tuned for a proper sound demo.